Good morning, class. I am Miss Pay America and I'm your guide teacher for today. Before we proceed, so let us pray. Put ourselves in the presence of the Lord through our personal prayer. Again, good morning, class. Alright, so now, what will be discussed yesterday? Very good. It's about culture. When we say culture, it is a customary belief, social forms, and material traits of racial, religious, or social group. And also, they characterize a feature of everyday existence, such as diversion of life or way of life. What cultural traits we have as Filipino? If your answer is bayanihan system, you're correct. What else? If your answer is being hospitable, also you are correct. I'm so happy because you really learned a lot about our lesson yesterday. So now we proceed to our new lesson for today. And our new lesson for today is about social stratification. And I hope at the end of the lesson, you will be able to understand their specific role in the society in accordance to their social class, be motivated to step from one social class to another, and avoid prejudice against other class. I hope you can gotcha the lesson. Now, I prepared a jumbled letter, so all you need to do is rearrange the proper words. Are you ready? If you are ready, say, I'm ready.
I'm ready!
Very good. Okay, let's go. You have 3 seconds to answer. Here is number 1 jumbled letter. If your answer is upper class, you gotcha. For number 2 question, or number 2 number as jumbled letter, here. If your answer is middle class, you're correct. And for the last number, here. If your answer is lower class, also, you're correct. If you gotcha all the jumbled letters, I give you 5 stars. So anyway, all the jumbled letters are connected to our lesson for today. Do you remember what our lesson for today, class? Very good. Social stratification. So when we say social stratification, what comes on your mind? Inequalities? Differences? Okay. Stratification comes from the word strata, means layer, like the layer of the egg, layer of the earth, and other things that they have a layer. But social stratification is stratification about society. As you can see at this picture, they have a layer. The upper, the middle, and the lower. But the question is, how does stratification relate to our society? But first, let us define what is social stratification. When we say social stratification, it refers to the society that categorizes the socio-economic tiers based on factors like wealth, income, race, education, and the power. Also, stratification is the hierarchical structure of class or status in any society. Also, the government, business, and other organization will have a social stratification. Social stratification is typically defined in three social classes. The first is the upper class, second is the middle, and third is the lower class. The people who have more resources is represented on the top layer of the social structure, while other group of people with progressively fewer and fewer resources is represented in the lower class of our society. As I said, stratification is the hierarchical structure of class and is the status of any society, in any society or rather. So, if you are a student, that is your status. And if you are a businesswoman or entrepreneur, that is your status in our society. Actually, there are two status in our society, the ascribe and the achieve. When we say ascribe status, it is given to us or meron na tayo kaagad. But when we talk about achieve status, ito naman yung mga bagay na na-achieve natin from the word achievement, like achievement or achieve, like the educational attainment, work or job or occupation, or other achievement that we have. So remember class that in our society, in social stratification, there are hierarchy. There are the upper, the middle, and the lower. By this time class, you can evaluate yourself which part of society do you belong. But also remember that we don't recognize that there is a hierarchy, which there are someone which in higher and which someone which in the middle, and then there is someone in the lower class. In the simple term, rich or mayaman is the higher class, so and the middle is the katamtaman lamang, hindi mahirap, hindi mayaman, and the lower class is yung nasa laylayan talaga. So now class, let's proceed to our fundamental principle of stratification. There are 5 fundamental principle of stratification. Number 1, social stratification, characteristic of society, not just due to individual differences. Number 2, social stratification persists generation, yet most societies allow some sort of social mobility or changes in the people position and system of social stratification. So ito yung hindi porket nasa lower class ka is hanggang dun ka na lang. So meron pong pagbabago. For number 3 tayo. Social mobility may be upward, downward, and horizontal. So hindi po yung sabi nga, hindi na nasa taas, nasa taas lang, mayroon ding nasa baba. So, pwede siyang bumaba or pwede rin siyang tumaas. Number 4, social stratification is universal but variable. So, sabi nga, or as I said kanina, there are changes. For number 5 principle, social stratification involves both inequality and beliefs. So, if people categorize from their classes, there an equality. So, tapos na tayo sa 5 fundamental principle of stratification. Let's go to 3 major premises of stratification. The three premises of stratification is power, prestige, and the properties. When we say power, it is about the ability to impose one's will to others. So, there are yung mga nasa matataas na posisyon or yung nasa upper. Sila yung may power na like properties, yung mga resources nila. So, iyon. For number 2, the prestige. So, when we say prestige, it is the respect given by others. So, like the kasabihan, kung gusto mong irespeto ka, matuto ka rin rumespeto sa iba. And for number 3, or the last premises of stratification, it is the properties. The properties is forms of wealth, so like the land resources or land properties, the money, and other assets that you have. So class, in social stratification, there are social differences, like the wealth, the gender, age, physical characteristic, ethnic group or yung family, and then the intelligence. So, when we say or when we talk wealth, so ito yung mayaman, mahirap, so yan. And when we talk gender, so bae, lalaki, so yung mga kasarian. So in our country, here in the Philippines, there are 2 genders, so the female and male. But in the other country, there's are so many genders. Like meron silang male and female, and then she-male, and other gender. So, whatever na. And, let's go to age. So, hindi lahat naman po tayo ay same age. So, meron po syempre hindi tayo magkakatulad ng edad. Pagdating naman po sa physical characteristics, so, ito yung, meron na tayong yung maputi, makinis, ibang kulay or brown, ganyan. So, when we talk naman in ethnic group or race, ethnic group and family, and birth family, so, iyan yung ating lahi. So, like, parang kapag Aita ka, ganon, sinuchuchuchu ka lang, ganon. And then for, bawal sa iba naman, yung mga kilala sa birth family, so kapag, pag sinabi namang, bilyar yan, so ganyan, sila, kumagay, sa apelyido pa lang, or sa may dala-dala kang apelyido, so kilala ka na. Pagdating naman sa intelligence and education, yun naman papasok yung mga sinasabi na kailangan mo mag-aral kasi para sa uunlad mo at para maabot mo yung pangarap mo. And kasi sa yung iba na pang hindi ka nakapag-aral, so mababa yung tingin sa'yo, yung parang status mo sa society. Kaya sinasabi ng ating mga magulang na mag-aral kang mabuti nang upang sa ganon ay maahon sa hirap yung parang lumevel up. Remember class, yung sinasabi mbawa na yung parang point of view na sinasabi na kapag hindi nag-aaral or hindi ka nakapag-aral is mababa yung tingin sa'yo, which is hindi kailangan nating ugaliin. So, which is not correct. Okay? Huwag nating i-judge yung mga tao na hindi pa nakakapag-aral. And now class, pumunta na tayo sa ating common parts of classes. Ito yung ating upper and middle and lower classes. Yan. So, when we say upper class, ito yung merong mga negosyong malalaki. Tulad nila Henry C. and other owner ng mga malalaking company. Sila rin yung merong highly professional, successful professional rather, or the highly successful professional. And also, sila din yung nasa top government, like yung mga president, vice president, senator, like ganyan. Sila yung mga nasa national. When we talk about middle class, sila naman yung hindi mayaman, hindi rin mahirap. And also, ang mga katulad nila is professional, like teacher, police, something like that. And highly skilled workers. Also the farm owner. And yung merong small market or yung may-ari ng negosyo na maliliit din lang naman. And also, marami pang examples ang middle class. So, hindi na natin isa-isahin. Okay. And when we say lower class, sila naman yung farmers employee, yung mga workers na hindi regular sa ating trabaho. Like, yung may mga contract pa. Ganon. Sila, counted pa rin sila sa lower class. Remember class, yung laging sinasabi sa atin ng ating mga magulang na mag-aral, magsikap para tayo ay makaahon sa hirap. Para yung ating status, kung nasa naman tayo status ngayon, maka-up or tumaas. Hindi naman as in tumaas or yung makaahon man lang dun sa ating status na ating kinaroroonan ngayon. So class, paano ba natin malalaman na nag-step up or yung status ng buhay natin ay hindi na ganon sa dati natin? So malalaman natin iyon class kapag yung achievement or yung may na-achieve tayong panibagong success sa buhay natin. Kaya class, habang mas maaga, is bigay natin yung ating makakaya para maging step up yung ating buhay at syempre makatulong sa ating mga magulang. So anyway class, go back to our lesson about social stratification ulit. Remember that social stratification is the hierarchical structure of class and the status in any society. Also, it is typically defined in 3 terms. Am I right? Okay, very good. The upper class, middle, and the lower. Again, class, the upper is yung mayayaman, and the middle is yung katamtaman, and the lower is yung hindi naman yung mga nasa laylayan. Okay? So, alam ko naiintindihan nyo yon dahil literal na ati itong nararanasan. But class, remember again, although literal natin ito nararanasan, huwag tayong mahusga sa ating kapwa-tao kung ang status man ng buhay ay magkakaiba. Okay? Okay, class, before we end, so we need to evaluate your learning for today to our lesson. So, okay, get your pen and paper to answer the question. So, I'll give you 5 seconds to answer. Okay? Okay. For number 1 question, please read.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If your answer is lower class, you are correct. For number 2 question, please read again.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If your answer is social stratification, you are correct. For number 3, here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If your answer is upper class, you gotcha. For number 4 question, please read.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If your answer is middle class, you are correct. For the last question, number 5, the last question but not the least, so here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If your answer is the 3 premises of the stratification, rather, the power, the prestige, and the properties, bravo! Wow, very good! I'm so happy because you gotcha the lesson. I hope next time you will learn more. So for now, class, it is the end of our lesson for today. See ya! Bye!